Hi. So I wanted to talk about something that has really been emerging in the media for a few years, but kind of at a heightened level as of late. The CDC, the Center for Disease Control, just came out with a study that between 2007 and 2015, the number of children between the ages of 5 and 18 going to the emergency room for help with either suicidal ideations, thoughts about suicide, or for attempted suicide doubled. It doubled from 2007 to 2015. 1.2 million children were seeking help for suicidal thoughts or actual suicide attempts. I really, if this hasn't sunk in already for you, I think that it really should sink in because that is a whole lot of despair. That is a whole lot of sadness. That is a whole lot of confusion and fear and feeling like whatever is happening right now is never going to change. That's real despair. And I think it's a real plea for us as parents and for us as a society to listen to them, to see them, to connect with them, and really to wake up. And so that's what I wanted to talk about. The experts related to the study said that there were a few different factors that attributed to this. Least of all, bullying and cyberbullying. Some reports indicate that up to 59% of kids have reported being bullied or cyberbullied. That's a lot of kids. And just for clarity, cyberbullying, what qualifies as cyberbullying, the criteria really is the same as, schoolhouse bullying, in that the intention to do harm exists, the intention to hurt, to isolate, to manipulate, to humiliate, to do harm exists, and that it's ongoing, it's pervasive, that there's a pattern. Other incidents may really be classified as harassment, conflict, just really, really doing terrible, mean things, but there are certain criteria for bullying or cyberbullying. The worrisome, the toxic point, the tipping point that we've gotten to with the cyberbullying is that there is an insidious quality to cyberbullying because there is a perceived and quite frankly a real sense of anonymity between the aggressor and the victim. Things are said and done that would probably not happen were you looking eye to eye with someone. Things are not being said, but which you could maybe pick up on when there are the nuances of dialogue, of eye contact, of physical togetherness that is not happening because it's happening within this online space. Now, I remember a few years ago when incidentally I was directing a bully prevention center that I got wrapped into an online spat, a political spat. Very quickly, the spat became personal. The person on the other end started to attack me on a personal level. And my initial reaction was just to retreat. But then I wanted to respond. I wanted to protect myself. I wanted to protect my integrity, my character. I wanted to defend my character. And I went to my husband and I said, "You won't believe what this person is saying. You won't believe what they're writing about me." And he said, "More, take a breath. What would you advise someone to do? If a parent called you, what would you advise them to do for their kid?" I said, "To not engage, to disengage." And he said, "Okay, so you need to disengage." I was able to do that because I was coming to this, with some level of experience directing a center, and from my lovely husband who gave me this really important feedback in the moment, but also most importantly because I have ego strength. As an adult, I have ego strength. The life experience, the perspective to know that what is happening in this sliver of space has no consequence in the grand scheme of my life, and that this person does not know me. They don't know me. and they're saying things that they otherwise would probably not say because they have this distance, this safe distance and this anonymity for me, and they will never have to be accountable. So what we are expecting our kids to do is completely unrealistic because, one, our kids do not have the ego strength to have that kind of process of rationalizing the need to disengage, because when it's happening with your friends, there is nothing more normal developmentally for a teenager to put the emphasis on their peer relationships, on their friendships, on their connections. Life, friendship should be important throughout our lifespan, but really, as an adolescent, we're beginning to figure out who we are. What is our identity? How do we fit in this world? And so if something really, really horrible is being said about you, you're defending everything in that moment. And when you're doing it within a habitat that really has become organic for you, it can very, very, very quickly blow up and explode and implode as really all or nothing, because this is your life on the line. This is your reputation on the line. These are your friendships on the line. It can feel like everything is on the line. And that's a very dangerous place for our kids to be. It's very dangerous. Their brains are simply not equipped to process and integrate the volume of information, the nature of information that they're having to keep up with and digest. They're not able to do it, and with these added pressures and the added insidious nature of what is going on in these online spaces, it's really, we're setting them up for failure, and quite frankly, we are asking them to navigate a minefield on their own. There is nothing sadder when you're in a restaurant and seeing an entire family looking down on their phones. Somewhere along the line, parents stopped saying no. They stopped setting limitations for themselves, and they stopped setting limitations for their children, not from a punitive place, from an I love you place. Kids do not have the communication skills to tell us, Mom, Dad, I really need us to talk right now. I really need us to look at each other now. I really need us to connect right now. If they did, we may not be in this mess, but they can't. So it's incumbent upon us to set those limitations and create those spaces and those times for us really to be together, to really encourage as much human connection as possible. I know that we are living in the age of technology, in the age of the smartphone, in the age of everything at all times. And that can really help us advance a lot of things, and it's very exciting. But we need to do this with boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. Boundaries set us free. With healthy boundaries, you can begin to structure free time for you to do the things that you love with the people that you love. I hope that this is helpful for some parents out there, because parenting in the 21st century is definitely a challenge, and I think that we need each other to really, help us figure out how to do it in such a way so that we really do raise healthy, well-adjusted, happy kids. Thank you.